Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts Stocks and Crypto live stream for TA Charts. Today's December 8th, Friday night, 2023. It's after 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This upcoming week, so next week, we have quite a eventful week. A couple companies still reporting earnings: Adobe, Costco, and Darden Restaurants here in the USA, Fuel Cell as well. But it's going to be a big week of economic data releases next week. CPI, core CPI, PPI, core PPI, FOMC statement, FOMC press conference, FOMC economic projections, and the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate. Also, retail sales, core retail sales, unemployment claims, manufacturing index, manufacturing PMI, and services PMI. So this is on Wednesday, December the 13th. Federal Reserve in the USA, Chairman Jerome Powell is going to have that press conference, so all eyes are on that day, as well as the CPI, PPI, and unemployment claims affects the data and their policy as well. So the USA Federal Reserve meeting is going to be on December 13th, that Wednesday in the morning. And traders, as we'll see in the charts, have already priced in that this general point in time, maybe in the next couple quarters, could be the top of the rate hikes. So let's see what happens if he's going to hold, if the interest rates are going to hold. It's going to be big news when the interest rates actually start dropping in terms of reduction from the Federal Reserve on the increases. Also, USA employers added only 199,999 jobs in November. That's lower than the average. So this is why things... Quick question. Hello, I do not see your screen. Please try refreshing your web browser. For some reason, that might be some kind of bug that's happening. My system looks okay here on all three browsers. Oh, but I see TradingView is black. Okay. YouTube is okay. Okay, so TradingView, you might have to refresh a couple times and then press play for the screen to come back. Okay, but YouTube looks fine. Thank you for joining. Welcome, everybody. So just to recap the news, USA employers added only just below 200,000 jobs in November. That's lower than average, and that's why the market rallied. We'll talk about that on the charts. Other news, company specific, DHL Express delivery company workers started a strike. That's over 1,000 employees. DHL is one of the, not one of the top, but these companies use DHL to deliver smaller parcel packages. So it is interesting to see that. Apple iPhone and watch product design head is going to leave the company. Europe news, the EU agrees to landmark rules for regulating artificial intelligence, generative AI, biometric identification tools, facial recognition, and fingerprint scanning. That includes ChatGPT and OpenAI. For crypto news, unfortunately, Binance founder CZ must stay in the USA until court sentencing. I mean, unfortunately for him. Binance withdraws Abu Dhabi license bid. Coinbase launched their Coinbase Wallet stablecoin transfer system via social media URL links. That includes WhatsApp, TikTok, and Instagram. And Fidelity Institution Company held the meeting with SEC about Spot Bitcoin Fund and submitted their presentation about ETF workflows. So they are working on that together. Let's go ahead and go to SPY here. Again, we're going to start off here with stocks and then move to crypto, and then we have some Q&A at the end. If you have a question, just go ahead and let me know in the live chat or in the YouTube comments, and I'll try to answer that. So with SPY here, this is what I'm talking about. We're still at a resistance point. The ultimate resistance for 2022 was $467. Our immediate support below is 453 in terms of the long-term investor support. So we are just trying to barely hang on here as the resistance levels are gapping up or trying to gap up in the intraday, and they're trying to just maintain this uptrend. Now, it is still an uptrend for sure. High, low, high, low. It's trying to make that higher high, but this is just really eking out that last bit of news reaction, right? Like jobs data, there was a little pullback, intraday pullback, but we're still trying to hit and get above this level, which is 459, just past that. And then the next big level we have to get to, we can pull up pivots to make it easier. Let's look at an intraday pivot, H4. Next level is 464. So in terms of where are we, I mean, things are cooling off. The bulls are obviously in control here. We are in this H4 EMA up cross. It's not even high RSI or anything like that on H1, but it's going to be depending on the news at this point. I mean, the bulls are in full control. Let's see what the Federal Reserve says right now. On the daily, it's not extremely overbought up here in the 80s or 90s on the weekly either. So it's really up to the news and the dips to keep, the price dips to keep holding as well. So we could actually see more upside. Let's take a quick look at a 15-minute for any potential clues, right? It's just, these are dips off the EMAs on these blue highlights. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. QQQ, NASDAQ, still stuck under the resistance, but here we have the golden up cross in April 2023, and it went high, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. That's what it's trying to do here. On the weekly as well, we're not extremely overbought. Let's look for weekly setups. The shooting star turned into actually this type, a doji turned into a bullish engulfing candle actually. Still a little bit of momentum, bouncing off of that dip at 383. And even if H4, 4-hour upside down head and shoulders with some momentum. So let's see if this resistance is going to break 394.41. Watch that very closely. Dow Jones as well, it's basically flagging. It's going 5 days sideways. So that's going to be very interesting. It is starting to lose a little momentum. Dow Jones kind of getting ahead of itself and starting to lose momentum here in the overbought range. Looking at pivots, the big pivot is 369. We rewind to see the ultimate level from last year. Definitely broke out above that, 356. So now we're reaching this weekly pivot and see if we can get to this overbought range. Now in the daily, I am starting to build, just full transparency, I'm starting to build a little bit of a short position to see if we could just get, if I could capture that little bit of that pullback, but I usually enter into short positions very early. So I have to be comfortable with a little bit of red. So what could happen is we can see to use this higher high up here, and then this RSI will come down. Let me do one more and I'll answer that question. I see it. So IWM also on the daily, there's not quite the golden cross yet, but we had this upside down head and shoulders that I was talking about for several weeks, and the upside move should go 8%, and we're just below that. This yellow is the target, 188.57, and it's still uptrending high, low, higher high. So it could go higher high and then pull back down for a higher low. It's trying to follow the other indexes and the weekly as well. I don't see any shooting star or anything crazy like that showing up on the charts. Quick question. Somebody says, hi, what strategy do I use in TradingView to see the golden crosses? So this is a custom indicator that I use from, I think it was a free community indicator, and then I just customized and basically created my own. So this is a custom indicator. The easiest one I could tell you that's free is called the MA Cross. That's the free one from TradingView. So just open up your indicators. You come up here to the top side panel, or you could click /. There's a little button here. Go to technicals and then search for MA Cross. So this is the one, or just look at it in the list down here, MA Cross right here. And then open that up and you have to customize it. So you have to go to settings and the short MA versus long MA. I believe this is standard moving averages, SMAs. So I put in a 50 for the short MA. I put in a 200 for the long MA. And then I changed the color. Now it's set. So basically you can, I'll make this smaller. But now if I turn to a line chart, you can see that I had the 50 and we have the crosses. So I customized. Okay, apparently I had an internet dropout right there. Looks like we're back online. My streaming program says everything is green light, but I just saw the screen flash stream offline. So it should be okay. I'll just wait a little bit for people to refresh and log back on. But yes, sometimes there's weather problems or sometimes there's power problems, and that's been happening this month. I did mention that last week at the end. So just to recap, it looks like we're back online. Somebody asked me a question about how do I see the golden crosses strategy. Just come into indicators, technicals. This is a free one by TradingView. It's called MA Cross, and then customize it to your lengths that you want for your MAs, your moving averages, and change the color to whatever style you want. You can customize it even further, copy and paste in the Pine editor if you want to learn stuff like that. Right here. This is how I changed the line width of the cross right here. And then I saved as and created my own. So it takes some time to just kind of learn that and adjust it. But if you want the free fast way, MA Cross is the way to do it. I just created my own the way I like it. And the way my charts is different than other people. Some people, they use white background charts. I like black background charts and super high contrast like green and red because if I'm working very early in the morning or very late at night, I want things to jump out at me on the screen. If there's a pattern or something like that, or if I have like 4 charts or 8 charts on the screen, I want to be able to see things very, very clearly. So this is like my customized template that I've just used over the years, and it's just my personal preference. Some people's colors and whatnot is different for what they like. So that's the easy way to do it. Okay, let's go on here. Let's go to oil. US oil here. Now we're in the downtrend on oil on the daily. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It did hit that 618 area, and we're going to see just how it's going to double bottom here on the RSI. MACD bullish divergence is starting to build here, but technicals don't always work for oil. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. Meaning it might not happen. So this is still a downtrend on the weekly for sure, but the weekly is not extreme oversold, so that's why we might not get that full bounce as expected. But if it does happen to bounce, it could go up to like a $70 area. Natural gas, UNG. Natural gas also in just a diabolical downtrend. We can see if I measure this 25%, it hit that downside target of this wedge that failed. It is in the downtrend low, high, low, and this is off of that OPEC JMC meeting we had like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and we are in the oversold area, but this is not quite ready, and we might have a V-shaped recovery bounce. So this is kind of that lowest price almost ever for natural gas, just been in a very sad downtrend. So that's why I try not to chase stuff like this until I see an extreme setup that's happening. So it's to me, it's just right at that bottom right there in terms of that monthly. And so if it keeps going down, I'm not going to long that yet. But maybe if this starts to see some kind of pattern, We had an upside down head and shoulders, and this is where Warren Buffett's company entered last time. But at the same time, I want to see a longer term pattern before I jump in because this pattern should have been the reversal, but it failed. So I'm a little bit more conservative on natural gas. Let's take a quick peek at gold. Gold had hit that all-time high of 194 and then it pulled back. So let's see what the support is. Support right here, the trend line 185, and we can see the high low, high low. If it's going to bounce, it would be nice if it goes back up to 194 for the bulls. But at the same time, support, support, support. Want to see just where 194, if that hits that resistance or not. And the support is here at 185 as well. Let's go to silver. And we can see as well, it wasn't an uptrend, but a big retrace back down. This could have saved itself on the bull bounce, but it failed. So now let's look at the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci is the 50% retrace, could drop all the way down to 2061. And that would have to be an intraday oversold play. So up to the swing traders to try to save this one in terms of the bull bounce here and the dip bounce. If it's not going to do that, then we could see a retracement back down lower. Let's go quickly to copper. Copper, interesting on this chart. It looks like it's an actual upside down head and shoulder here. So let me just erase some of this and take a quick peek. Upside down head and shoulders with the neckline. And let's see 8% if that's going to go up to the upside. 16% to the upside. If that's a bullish move, we shall see. But if this does not work, then we could see the immediate support is 22.56. So watch out for that on copper. Let's take a quick look at some of the indexes. And for sector ETFs, XLK at resistance, testing that resistance. A little bit of that MACD down cross. Communications, XLC also testing resistance. XLRE definitely at resistance, right at 38.51. It could keep going higher, but it's in the overbought range on RSI. XLE is approaching support levels. XLY resistance area. Same thing with XLI. XLB is tracking more correlated with IWM, Russell 2000. The healthcare fund is also at a resistance level, although it's not overbought here on the RSI. XOP had a nice little bounce here, but starting to fizzle out a little bit and lose momentum. This is one of those areas where if I lose this upward rising wedge, and this could be the start of some kind of pullback continuation if it's going to happen. Finance sector ETF, XLF, also in a resistance zone. This is why I'm starting to go a little bit short, just because the technicals are maybe telling me to do that, but I could be totally wrong on that. So I do have up to 90% win rate on my trades, but it depends on the situation. So it could be 60, 70%. Some weeks I'm up to 80, 90%, depending on what happens. Lifetime, I think I'm at 60, 70% win rate on my trades. So that's why not every trade is going to win. Not every strategy is 100%. Actually, almost none of the strategies are 100% success rate. None of it is like that. Only algorithms and like the $1 billion, $1 million algorithms have 90% win rate, like a lifetime. And then some, I know some traders who are big whales in the shorting space who short, and they have really high strategy win rates, but that's because they play a very, very specific setup. But I'm not going to get too much into that. So XLU utility is starting to lose a little bit of momentum, but not quite overbought here. SMH had a nice bounce and recovery because AMD and NVIDIA news, Intel as well, especially AMD with their new chip for AI orders, kind of saved that. So it could try to actually attempt to try to hit 177, but let's see if that resistance at 165 holds or not. Okay, let's answer a quick question here because I have a stock question. Let's go. Okay, looks like there's some issues with TradingView stream. It keeps going on and off. Might have to refresh it and press play. YouTube seems to be totally fine. My streaming app looks totally fine as well. So let's answer this question from YouTube. Thank you so much. I love the way you explain. It's very pro. From many analyses like other people on YouTube, say we are close to a recession and will happen. And what will happen when the Fed pivot happens, and how will it affect the market? Okay, so this is a two-part question. It's Let me answer the first one. Are we close to a recession? Personally, I don't think so because of the economic data that's coming out for this entire year. It's mixed data. So if you watch the data, the GDP growth has been increasing generally. CPI, PPI, PCE inflation data has all decreased for the past 1 year straight. It's not quite hit the 2% target the Federal Reserve FOMC is trying to hit that target. Some of the job growth that we've seen in just the last month has started to decrease a little bit. So it's mixed. It's not all going in the favor of the FOMC. But do I think we're going into like extreme recession like 2008 or 2000? No, personally, I do not think so because we had an extreme rally this year. So the stock market is not really, in my opinion, going to crash to oblivion yet, because on a weekly, the RSI is not even in the overbought for SPY, QQQ, Dow Jones, IWM, or Bitcoin is a different story. But we'll look at other things like gold. Maybe we'll look at the dollar is not even there, right? It could keep going. Like we could get there's a difference. If somebody says we're going to get a pullback like red, that's actually normal in a bull market. But if somebody's saying we're going to crash back down to like pandemic levels, like 2020, I don't think that's going to happen unless there's World War III, to be honest. It's a grim picture, but I'm being honest about it. So next thing, what will happen with the Fed pivot and how it's going to affect the market? So at this point, the Fed pivot is probably the reduction of interest rate increases. Okay, meaning like what I'm saying is the FOMC has hiked the FOMC has hiked interest rates for over a year now, and he's been holding interest rates for I think 2 or 3 times now. So that's why we had this super rally, because people are expecting, oh, we're at the top of the interest rate increases. Now the market's going to go up. So there's been an inverse correlation between the FOMC increasing interest rates and the market going down. And the reverse is if he's going to start reducing interest rates, the market's going up. And just like Jim Cramer said, for a long time, the market prices in moves way ahead of time, like 6 months. That's been the norm that's happening. So it's not like he's going to pivot and then we're going to crash all the way down like that. The market has already been pricing in your question for like 6 months to 3 to 6 months ahead of time. So just giving you a long term. Now you might be thinking, as a day trader, it feels like we're crashing, right? Or a scalper. But if you zoom out into like the long term picture, this is uptrending for 2023. Like this is not going down. Okay, it's a long-winded answer. Next one for stock question, Tesla. Question. It looks like it has been stuck around 240 for the past couple of days. Will we test $300 in the near future based on the technicals? Also, what I call that a consolidation period. Thank you for the question. Let's look at Tesla. So first part, I'll start with the second part. Do I call that consolidation period? Yes, I would call it. It's not a perfect pattern, but to me, just visually, it's just kind of getting stuck sideways. So I would say it is a consolidation pattern. More specifically, it's kind of angled. So it looks like it's stuck between angled trend lines like this. But more specifically, horizontally, it's stuck between 246.67 and 232.97. And it's probably honestly because Elon Musk, there's some of that drama with the Twitter comment and some of the company, what's happening there with Tesla. So, and Twitter, X. I mean, so that's what that looks like to me. Let me make sure. Yes, just kind of going in there. Now, next question. We've been stuck around 240. You're probably talking about the last couple of candles. Will we test 300 in the near future based on technicals? Okay, so this one, this on a daily, it looks like nothing is going to happen. To answer that question, I have to peek on the inside. This is why intraday helps. So H4 and H1. So on the H4, we are still on a golden cross here on H4. It started, yes, there is some resistance like a head and shoulders, but then it's contradicted by the golden cross here. Have to dive in even deeper on an hourly, still testing this EMA. So how I will know it'll bounce is it usually needs to dip down, crash down, hold that, and then it's going to bounce up like that. So that's how you can interpret. This is now we're getting into multi-time frame. So if you look at the recent move of this getting stuck in 240 area, it's dipping down, oversold into an EMA bounce, and then traders are longing that. Same thing, oversold, EMA bounce, long that. Oversold, EMA bounce, long that. There's 3 setups, but now it's getting too obvious. We'll go into a 15-minute, go even microscopic. So now you see this move getting stuck down at the 233 support is actually not random candle. It's oversold and tested 3-4 times, and it's starting to uptrend on that 15-minute. So day traders are looking at this very closely. And I would say if somebody's trying to enter in this to get at the dip, now zooming back out, it certainly looks like it might not test 300. Actually, if you actually tell me 300 is way up here. So that's saying, are we going to test the all-time high of 2023 again? So at this point, because QQQ, we'll zoom back to QQQ, it's probably going to be very correlated. Tesla needs to have good news that's coming out for its own company, like amazing. The Cybertruck was kind of not the greatest news, but they need to have something like high amount of orders or high amount of sales, probably on the next earnings call. But if QQQ pulls back, it's probably going to pull back the rest of the market, because if we look at Amazon, just for a dip, right? Amazon is kind of trending, but it's at a resistance. MACD's down, right? SPY, same thing, resistance, and MACD, and it's starting to pull back on the RSI a little bit. Dow Jones is overbought, right? IWM is not quite overbought. So then when you take a look at like Microsoft, had a nice pullback. Let's look at Netflix, nice pullback. AMD had a bounce into resistance. So that's why. For me to give like 100% answer on that, it really depends on the news and also high, low, high, low. So it needs, if it holds above 233 in short summary, high, low, it could get up there, but it's going to take some time. Like if you're trying to invest, it could take like 3, 6, 9 months to get up here to 300 tap again. And then if depending on their earnings, it could crash again. But this upside down head and shoulders from a long time ago, it was supposed to go 15%, and we almost hit that. That's why it's starting to consolidate a little bit. The second target should have been 30 on Tesla. 30, which would be that 291. So it might not go to 300. It might go to 291 if I'm very optimistic about it. But the fact that the price is above the EMAs, that's a good sign. If it drops below, let's say it drops below 233, I'm going to short this thing down myself. But for me, maybe this first time you're on my stream, but I called this, I wrote about this bullish setup like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So just FYI about that. Okay, let's go to crypto. I don't see any more questions. Let's go to crypto. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So welcome everybody. We're in the cryptocurrency section of my live stream, and we're looking at charts. If you have a question about crypto, let me know. We're starting off with total, the crypto total market cap. Okay, this is getting a little bit overextended to the upside, and we're starting to get into that overbought range. There could be a pullback. There could be a pullback. Why? Because it's increasing, it's going parabolic, and we're starting to get double top and a bearish divergence on the RSI. I'm not saying we're going to crash back down to nothing, but we could see some red and some selling just from the algorithms taking their profit on that. Now, the target should have been about 65%. So 65% going to about 2.02 trillion, but we haven't had a pullback, right? High, low. This is our weekly higher high, right? High, low, weekly higher high. It's going to go wherever, however high it wants to go. And then we should have a healthy red and then a retest of that long term into the Bitcoin halving, which is sometime in April, right? But this, I'm still holding. This is not a super sell signal for me as an investor. I am not going to back out yet unless there is some kind of SEC ban on crypto or something. If that happens, then I'm out. But it's still holding, right? H4 on this 2 MA cross indicator is still holding. It's in the air right now. That's why we could pull back down to the 50 EMA or the 20, which is somewhere up here. The 20, which is 1.56, and see if that's going to hold or not. This is totally normal, and it's in the overbought. But sometimes crypto just goes to the moon and it's unstoppable. So I would like it to happen like that. Again, I want to see this kind of 2020 massive bull run up here, right? We're at this resistance. You can see if you draw it horizontally, 1.61, you're getting stuck at that resistance area. We do have the golden cross. That's why. So it could, worst case scenario, pull back down to 1.2 trillion market cap, and then we have a super mega bounce for the next 3 months, 4 months. But let's go deeper into crypto. Let's check out all the other total indexes. Total 2. All right, same deal. We're at a resistance area, and at some point might pull back. But I like this. Remember, you might not remember, but 1 month or 2 months ago, I was saying, look at this giant upside down head and shoulders on total 2. So this is everything excluding Bitcoin. And this is a bullish signal, should go 50%. So that means altcoins should go to $1 trillion market cap on this. And the target's up here, long-term target. But we do have that one pullback that's brewing in the market. Same thing with total 3, very similar analysis. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D. So same thing here. The Bitcoin dominance is shooting up too high, too fast. High, low, high, low, high, low. Higher high, and then we need, it actually pierced through previous resistance. We need to pull back down to like 750 billion area for a healthy area. Draw some trend lines here. This is looking very similar. We had a breakout here. So we could pull back down to that 771. Now, finally, we get to Bitcoin, right? Can you see if we go BTC.D dominance chart? Oh, excuse me. That's the wrong chart. Looks like my BTC got deleted. That was the BTC chart. Got moved all the way down here. Let me move this to over here. So the Bitcoin dominance chart in percentage scale. Let me close that window and do this again. BTC dominance percentage. Still in the golden up cross since January. It's been beautiful. Now, if I draw a trend line underneath, it's just gently riding that up. This is more normal style where it's going high, low, high, low, high, low, higher, high. That's okay. The weekly, however, is showing a little shooting star. I will know Bitcoin is in big trouble. Same thing on the actual Bitcoin chart. If we drop lower high and then crash, that could be big trouble. That might happen in April if we don't rally to the moon. Now, let's actually get to Bitcoin itself. So Bitcoin itself, BTC USD, we've been in this daily uptrend for this entire year. High, low, almost high, but it's lower high, but then a higher low, upside down head and shoulders off of support number 3, higher high to the target, which was forecastable 8 months ago that we might get up here. Like once these 2 points like that, then you extend the trend line out. That's why I like to use extended or really long trend lines, because this is completely forecastable. That's why I'm saying there might be a pullback here because we're at the roof. It's the third time we've hit this area. So unless we have a mega bull breakout for whatever reason, might be news based, might pull back to the halfway point, just under $38,000. We'll see if that happens or not. The 40K is the area of support. Take a quick look in the weekly. We had a nice bullish breakout. We might get one more to create a 3 white knights, green or white candle pattern. Because in terms of a weekly, if I look at Elliott wave, I could see the first wave. We're in the third wave for this probably, wherever that's going to stop. And then we have a fourth wave pullback into the final fifth wave for the short term. I'm not saying the final of Bitcoin, but in terms of this structure, right? So let me see if that happens or not. Okay, let's do some rapid fire on crypto. And this is what we like to see. It's expected. When you see a lot of green on the charts, that means there was a great buy spot earlier. So a quick aside note is that if somebody's having FOMO and they're saying, oh no, I missed everything, you might not have missed everything, but it's definitely better to buy when on a lower dip than buying the top when it's already 50% up, right? Because then the stop loss, even if I'm an investor, negative 25% is an investor type of stop loss for a medium size capital position size, right? But if I did buy down here and I have a imaginary stop loss somewhere down here, for example, then I don't even need the stop loss. I just move it up now to break even or just below here to lock in my profits. So I'm like guaranteed profits, almost like 90% guaranteed profits unless the exchange fails on me, right? So that's why I just have to train myself and to get that setup of where's it low, where's their relative fear, and then maybe I want to buy some of that. Okay, let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum as well, just kind of getting into that bearish divergence setup where we have a super rally, nice rally, but then we're losing momentum. And this is not, it went from oversold to overbought. So the algos, the bots, the automatic trading systems, they're going to start taking their profit probably soon. That's what I'm expecting that to happen. Only thing that can flip it on its head is we need human buyers to buy. I've seen that happen where we have this setup, but then it just keeps going up. Totally possible. We did Golden Cross as well. So we could, bearish case scenario, could test below 2000 and then have a super bounce like that. Binance Coin, interesting to see a little bit of survival here, but it's not random. MACD histogram continuation. See if that support holds above the 207 level, upside down head and shoulders. Here, possible attempt for 25% possible gain. But at the same time, if it crashes back down to $200, that is the opposite scenario. So here's where I'm talking about last week, where we had that potential head and shoulders, which turned into a flag pattern, descending triangle pattern, symmetrical triangle, actually. But it continued. So that's why I'm still holding Solana right now. I've been in crypto long enough. I traded and invested in crypto long enough that when we're in a bull market, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. Right? If I'm afraid here, no need to be afraid. I bought Solana somewhere down here. I don't even remember anymore. I have to look at it. But I visually remember on the chart. I think it was below $20 at some point. And so now it's $74. It's like the greatest, incredible trade, right? It went from 140% to now I'm at 220% profit on this trade. It's beautiful. But I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to show people for next time, just to burn this into my mind or for people to learn, is how did I enter this trade? Quick review. So how did I know how to get inside of here? Okay. I remember somebody asked me in 2022, should I buy in 2022, somewhere here, should they buy crypto? And I advised educationally to the example to that person, we're in a downtrend in 2022, so maybe don't buy. And that was the correct call in terms of looking back. I have a question. Do you think we entered a bull market in the crypto? We've been in a bull market for this entire year, 2023. If you want to be exactly precise, we entered the bull market in March to April 2023. So That's why you probably want to review what a golden cross is, or what your moving averages crosses are, if you're asking me that question. So I'll just leave it at that. But the market has been uptrending in 2023 right here. And again, we're making that higher high right now. That's why it's been super bullish right now. We bottomed out. Why did this happen? This is all news-based kind of stuff, like SEC does something, SEC lawsuit, SEC Department of Justice tells the SEC to calm down, Binance settlement. There's all these historical things that you can look up on the research. So it's not just technical based. There are news that confirms this as well. The technical trend is uptrend, high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high as well. So we are definitely 100% in an uptrend, bullish market right now. It's just a matter of how high are we going to go for the next year. So Solana, wrapping that up, right? How did I know to enter into this? Even though Solana went through some trouble with some network problems and all these issues, is very simple. Use some technical analysis. Like when that guy asked me in 2022, I remember saying, well, it is downtrending. The price is downtrending like this. And we have the support level right here. It's in a descending wedge pattern. And until it breaks out, nothing's really going to happen. I was telling that person, once we have this low, maybe that's the low, and we need to see it kind of higher low out of here. And that's exactly what happened for this entire year. So then I entered on this breakout, right? Because that's a setup. If you know your technical analysis patterns, and don't just learn it from me, but go, any trader who wants to learn the future, if you're a beginner, intermediate, there's so many educational articles on TradingView, Google, YouTube, books is actually perfect to learn that. And this is a descending wedge breakout pattern. And then I need to long that. And then I'm up 220% on that trade. Okay, let's keep going here. And same thing with Cardano. Remember, I bought Cardano at 25 cents. So I'm literally up 125% on Cardano because I took the risk. Risk on. Why? Let's go to a different chart. Risk on. Why? Triple bottom. Support. It was scary there. I'm not going to lie. It was scary mentally. A lot of people were saying, we're going to go into bear market because the SEC was suing everybody into oblivion and trying to change the regulations, right? But then from a technical chart setup, I'm saying triple bottom, upside down head and shoulders on the price pattern right here, super bullish setup. I said, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to participate in creating the setup. I'm not just going to watch it get away from me. So it's supposed to only go 24%, and then it went all the way 120%. It broke out way above this resistance level. I remember in the stream like a month ago, I was saying it's stuck in a consolidation pattern. And if it's stuck in a consolidation pattern, if I'm a long, do I want to buy resistance or support? 100% I'm buying support. 100%, even though it was scary. The market conditions was scary. People were afraid. Nobody showed up in chat. Everyone was doing their own thing, and we're just waiting to see what happens. But then for me, as a trader, I had to make a decision. Interpret the charts, interpret the news, check myself, right? My mind and my mentality, and make sure I'm good to go on everything. And then I put risk on, and it paid off. So where is it going to go from now? This whole giant consolidation box, 63%, we're not even there at the target yet. It could be 63%, or it could go an additional 125% to like 90 cents. Cardano could go to $1 if the targets are like that. But is it going to go straight up shooting into the moon, straight up into space? It might not do that so much. We have to see. It needs to start into a real trend. And we finally got that golden cross. So that's why I'm trying to explain to people the thought process of how did I know and how did I get in early, and then how do I just enjoy that profits, right? I just moved my stop loss up. I entered here at 25 cents, right? And I was targeting 56%, but I just move it up now. Move it up, my stop loss slowly, right? And carefully to not type in the wrong number. But the RSI is overbought. This thing is looking like it wants to come down at any day now. Any day now, we should get a pullback. But it's going to pull back into the it's going to pull back into the EMAs for support and then try to see if it keeps going up or not. Okay, running out of time here. We got to end very, very soon. So I'm going to rapid fire the rest here. Thank you for watching. Again, I have to go. I have to move fast or else my streams last for like 3 hours. So I have to go very, very fast and talk kind of loud. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. All the questions, all the interaction, all the comments, support. I appreciate it all. Thank you so much for following and watching, everybody. XRP here, starting this uptrend as well. Right, high, low, high, low, high, low. Getting stuck here. We did have this upside down head and shoulders off of support, high, low. So we're trying to see if XRP could go to 90 cents again. See if that happens. AVAX as well, just incredible. Remember on the stream, I said maybe this might be the bottom. I drew it for like 10 or 20 cryptos, and then it literally was the bottom before it exploded up 200%. So that's what I'm saying. Crypto, sometimes when it's like scary or when it's maybe or when you have oversold conditions, just got to buy something. In all honesty, DOT as well, mark the exact support levels, triple bottom, and now it's up 100%. But watch out for, that's a huge Doge meme. Watch out for the pullback because now we have this golden crosses. I'm expecting some level of support that needs to be established. We need a higher low. So a lot of crypto can come red and then keep going up, right? Shibu Inu, I am still in Shibu. Let's see how much I'm up here. 50% on SHIB. It's nice and easy play, right? This is a double bottom play that I marked for several months. It took the patience, however. How long did I have to wait for this? I had to wait 190 days. 190 days. Let me bring a calculator out. Oh, excuse me, my mic went off at some point. I hope my mic wasn't off for the whole time here. I don't want to go. So I was talking about the difference between day trading and swing trading investing. As I get older, I want to spend less time in the market. Efficiency. Because if there are trading bots, algorithms, like there's probably going to be trading AI that's going to get bigger in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's going to be less hands-on. That's my perspective on the future. A lot of crypto trading is probably going to be AI based. Stock trading is going to be more AI based. I'm talking for like the mass people. There's going to be some kind of system or corporations that's really going to try to push that over time with regulation, maybe in the next 10 or 20 years. But for me, as I get older, I don't want to sit in front of the computer 18 hours a day trying to scalp crypto and chase all 50 cryptos. It's just, that's why I became an investor. That's my personal preference in my life. So that's just something a trader or investor needs to decide for themselves. And the litmus test I would say for that is, how much patience does somebody have? Does somebody want the answer in 5 seconds? Does somebody want the answer in 5 minutes? Does somebody want the answer in 5 days? If you don't mind waiting a week, 7 days, 14 days to like get a package or wait for an investment to go up, trade to go up, you're probably a swing trader. If you want everything right now, it's probably a day trader. If you don't mind waiting 2 years, you want to plant the seed and let it grow for 2 years, you're probably an investor. Okay, let's wrap up here. So Matic as well, golden cross and high low, testing this higher high. We might get to the 618, the 1.17 area up here. It looks like it wants to do that. Atom as well. Beautiful double bottom here. This is that textbook like snapshot. Too bad I might not have called this on stream. It might have happened. It happened on a Friday or Thursday between streams, but I did mark it double bottom. And then this is what happens. It goes 70%. Absolutely incredible. See if it keeps going higher. And this is why everybody gets all excited about crypto. Same thing with NIR. I remember saying on NIR, maybe we're getting into some bottom area, and then it exploded on us, 150%. Litecoin, but watch out for NIR because I know I'm getting super excited right now on the mic, but in my mind, I'm saying it's dangerous though, because it's so high. This is bearish divergence, bearish divergence. So at some point, it's going to pull back and crash. Just like a professional fund manager taught me, I never want to be the last guy in a trade. Three things a fund manager taught me is, I'll just say two things. He said to me when he was mentoring me, he said, don't blow up my account. Number two, I never want to be the last person in a trade. Actually, the third one was saying don't short the market. He was talking about stocks though, because it's true. Even after we crashed in 2020, the market in S&P 500 has recovered. So if somebody tried to short and leave it short for a long period of time, not a good idea. Not a good idea, right? That person will be down like negative 50 to 100%, blew up their account. So that's what he's talking about, what he taught me. But for crypto, it's different because if something's junk crypto, then maybe it's okay to short that if somebody gets on the right side of that, because crypto can crash and they get 90%. But we hit the bottom here and we bounced, right? Now, are we going to go into super bull market? Maybe, because this death cross on the EMAs was so strong on the resistance. Now we opened up above that, higher high, higher low, higher high. So it could happen. It could happen. Litecoin, predictable, upside down head and shoulders a couple months ago. Play with the neckline test. Let me draw that better. Neckline test. And it tested right here in the blue circle, the neckline. Then 7% to the upside. We hit that. Measure this. Actually, it's supposed to go about 20%. We hit that first target. So it is in an uptrend. It's starting to look almost like a Bitcoin and Netflix. It's looking like Bitcoin, copying it perfectly. So it can pull back down to like 76 area and see if we get that pullback. All right. I went, talked a lot fast. I gave probably a lot of information. It might be information overload for people, but I'm just sharing knowledge and information. It's an educational stream. I'm not telling people what to do. This is not financial advice. But the key takeaways in summary for stocks and crypto. If somebody's a bull long, let's go to Bitcoin. And I have that screenshot. Again, over time, like on crypto trading, if I focus and actually try to win, I could have a 90% win rate. That's why my screenshot on the stream today is 90%. Because after the past two streams, I realized that when I'm in fast talking analyst mode, my trading goes down, right? But if I focus on trading, then my win rate goes way, way up. That's just for me. So when I'm on stream, I'm in like chart analyst mode. I'm not really in trading mode. It's a different like switch for me in my mind. But the key takeaways is what I'm saying today. For crypto, if somebody is trying to learn how to trade crypto, this is why. Got to practice, got to study and practice the charts. First, maybe just study the chart. Open up a Bitcoin chart of whatever exchange and then look at the entire price history of Bitcoin, all of it, as far as you could go back. Maybe you have to go to a weekly or monthly chart. Maybe go to a weekly chart and just look at all of it. And just no indicators, even maybe you might not even need volume, but let's just leave it like this and just study this chart a lot, as much as you can, to try to deduce and try to learn from the chart itself of, let's say I'm a long, right? And we're going to end here. If I was a long, meaning I'm bullish only, I can only buy green on my account, I only want it to go up, where would I buy and why on the chart? It's here. The answer is on the chart. Let's say most people knew about crypto here at the top of crypto. And then we had a crash, and then this is the pandemic, and this is the high. So let's say these four spots, I marked it vertically in pink to make it visible, is how do I know to buy point A, point B, point C, or point D? If I'm a long, I do not want to buy point A or point D because that's literally the top of crypto. I do want to buy point B and C just for reference because that's the lowest point of crypto. And then trying to understand how did it go down? Why did it reverse up? Like, how did it go down? How did it go up? And then just memorizing that or just learning that pattern. Same thing with here. It started going down and then we had a super crash and then we didn't go back down. So then that's why everyone got super excited about that back then in pandemic era. And we went parabolic and then pull back and then we went uptrend again, and then we had a super downtrend again, right? So then I knew all in 2022, I did not really trade crypto that much because I knew from experience multiple times when it goes downtrend, I'm not even going to touch that. I wish I had crypto futures back here so I can, on USA Exchange, so I could short that, but I couldn't. So I just sat on my hands, so to speak. This is what Charlie Munger taught us. Sometimes just sit and wait, right? As an investor. So, but when we had the turnaround, I knew, oh, buy some here, buy some here, buy some here, and now we're up, right? So just studying that and learning, how do I know why does it go down? Why does it go up? Why does it go sideways, basically? And understanding that will make you get up to that higher than 50%, 60%, 70% win rate in your trading and investing. And then it becomes it becomes a matter of just managing risk, right? Where am I going to put my stop loss? Where am I going to take profit? And that's where the paper trading and the bar replay comes into play for practice. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. It's almost holidays here in America and around the world. So happy holidays to everybody. And I hope you learned something. Again, this is an educational live stream. It's not financial advice. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and following. Appreciate all the comments. And I hope you have a happy trading and end of this year. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.